The Vancouver Millionaires, later known as the Vancouver Maroons, were a professional ice hockey team that competed in the Pacific Coast Hockey Association and the Western Canada Hockey League between 1911 and 1926. Based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, they played in Denman Arena, the first artificial ice surface in Canada and the largest indoor ice rink in the world at the time it opened. The Millionaires, Maroons succeeded as PCHA champions 6 times: 1915, 1918, 1921, 1922, 1923, 1924, and won the Stanley Cup once. In 1915, against the Ottawa Senators of the NHA, their jerseys were maroon, featuring a white V with Vancouver spelled down one side of the V and up the other. Hall of Famers Fred "Cyclone" Taylor, MacKay and Didier Pitre were among the most significant players to don the Millionaires, Maroons uniform in the team's history. On October 1, 2010, the Vancouver Canucks president and management officially announced that the Vancouver Canucks had purchased the rights to logos, jerseys and trademarks of the Vancouver Millionaires. Since that time, the Canucks have worn Millionaires throwback uniforms on a few occasions, most notably on March 2, 2014 in the 2014 Heritage Classic against the Ottawa Senators. Team history. In 1911, the Patrick brothers, Frank and Lester, inaugurated their own professional ice hockey league on the West Coast, the Pacific Coast Hockey Association, giving birth to 3 teams, one of which was the Vancouver Millionaires. Frank aligned himself with Vancouver, playing for, coaching and managing the team. In order to earn credibility as a league, the PCHA lured players from the NHA, and in 1912, the Millionaires acquired the highly touted Cyclone Taylor, who would play for and star in Vancouver for the following 10 seasons, the remainder of his career. During his tenure in Vancouver, Taylor tallied 263 points in 131 games. Upon the 1914-1915 season, the NHA and PCHA came to an agreement that each league's respective champion would play for the Stanley Cup. In the first year of this agreement, the Millionaires, led by Patrick and Taylor, emerged as league champion and defeated the Ottawa Senators to earn their first and only Stanley Cup championship. In a best-of-5 series played at Denman Arena, the Millionaires swept Ottawa by scores of 6-2, 8-3, and 12-3. Taylor led the team with 6 goals. At the time, it was the furthest west the Cup had been awarded and is Vancouver's only Stanley Cup champion. In 1918, Vancouver would once again compete for the Stanley Cup, defeating the Seattle Metropolitans in a 2-game final for the PCHA title, but would be defeated by the Toronto Arenas of the NHL, evolved from the NHA, 3-2. Between 1918 and 1924, Vancouver would win the PCHA title in 5 of 7 seasons. In 1921 and 1922, they were defeated by the Ottawa Senators and Toronto St. Pats in back-to-back Cup finals, respectively. In 1922, the team changed its name to the Vancouver Maroons and, although league champion in the PCHA's final 2 seasons, Vancouver would not compete for the Stanley Cup. As a result of the newly founded Western Canada Hockey League, the PCHA champion would have to defeat the WCHL champion en route to a Cup Series against the NHL champion. The Maroons would fall to the Edmonton Eskimos in 1923 and the Calgary Tigers in 1924. Following the 1923 1924 season, the Maroons were absorbed by the WCHL upon the PCHA's demise. but would not achieve the same success of the previous years. In 1926, the WCHL suffered the same fate of the PCHA, and after 15 years, the team subsequently folded. As well, tributes. In 1999, local rock star and bodybuilder John Michael Thor started VM Sports, a company to market a line of Millionaires apparel. Since there were no genuine Millionaires sweaters in existence since a fire destroyed Denman Arena in 1936, Thor trademarked the Vancouver Millionaires name and the Victory V logo. On May 1, 2008, the BC Sports Hall of Fame was donated one such Millionaires sweater from VM Sports, which is now featured in the Hall's Cyclone Taylor display. On October 1, 2010, the Vancouver Canucks parent company, Canucks Sports and Entertainment, acquired the Vancouver Millionaires trademark from Thor, in honor of the Millionaires as the city's only Stanley Cup winning team. The Vancouver Giants, a major junior Western Hockey League (WHL) team, wore Millionaires jerseys during their November 21, 2008 game against the Kamloops Blazers on the team's Stanley Cup Legends Night. That same month, the Canucks unveiled their new third jerseys, including a new shoulder logo that pays tribute to the Millionaires by including a V. In the shortened 2013 season, the Vancouver Canucks wore the Millionaires V on their jersey to honor those whose spirit laid the path they stand on today, and for a very special night on March 16, to celebrate Vancouver's 100-year hockey legacy. The team wore the historic uniform of the Vancouver Millionaires as they took on the Detroit Red Wings on home ice. On March 2, 2014, the Vancouver Canucks wore the Millionaires jersey once more against the Ottawa Senators, who also wore their historic jersey during the 2014 Heritage Classic, in honor of the Millionaires' Stanley Cup victory 100 years prior. The Canucks wore their maroon and white sweaters in a 4-1 loss at home against the Colorado Avalanche on March 26, 2015. Season-by-season record. Note: W equals wins, L equals losses, T equals ties, GF equals goals for, GAR equals goals against. Hall of Fame players: Jack Adams, Rusty Crawford, C. Griffiths, Newsy Lalonde, Hughie Lehman, Mikey MacKay, Frank Nybor, Frank Patrick, Tommy Phillips, Didier Pitre, Gordon Roberts, Barney Stanley, Cyclone Taylor. See also 1914-15 Vancouver Millionaires season. List of Stanley Cup champions. List of ice hockey teams in British Columbia.